Good afternoon and welcome to The Paper Thing, Season 6, Episode 14. Yes, indeed. Have I closed the curtain? I have not. But I will. Greetings, hello, and welcome to the show. Episode 14, Coinpocalypse 2022. It's the magazine special, a 4-magazine special for my birthday. Yes, thank you, Burnzoid. Appreciate it. It's a 4-magazine show. Before I start with the magazines, of course, thank you, Gonzo Socialism. Good to see you. What I can think of only a few better ways to spend my birthday than with you excellent reprobates. Happy broken bottle birthday, says Mark Canosis. Happy birthday, says Hugo. Thank you all. Let's just do the front page headlines before we move on to the magazines. The Sun says, Only Fools Mickey says, woke Beeb would water down iconic show today. Plonkers. This is just a bloke doing a reckon. That is the front page. On the Times, US sounds alarm over Russian cash in London. Yeah, no shit. The Guardian says, Treasury alarm as PM refuses to confirm national insurance rise. Yeah, because he's waiting to use that to distract from things. And 600 Whitehall fat cats paid over £150,000. Who are these cats and what are they spending all that money on? Presumably milk. But that's the papers, but we don't do papers. We don't do papers on a Friday. No, we do magazines. Chronotherm says, SBBITR, special birthday boy in the room. That is me. Presumably the fat cats spend money on fatty food. Can only be the case. Only fools and horses to come with trigger warnings, says Gonzo Socialism, in a beautifully elegant joke. The Burnzoid slow down at the business factory, so he's been watching the Lord of the Rings lore videos. Nice to nerd out. Fair enough. Yeah, thank you all for the birthday greetings. Much appreciate it. Today's magazines, I've got some good ones for you. It's the first edition of the new Star Trek magazine, Star Trek Explorer. Absolute nerdery. Then we've got Medieval Warfare magazine with hot cover boy Vlad the Impaler. The Judge Dredd magazine, going back to my childhood, celebrating a childhood favourite of mine. Happy birthday, Sissy Aris. Thank you for cheering with 100 bits. I don't really understand what bits do, but thank you. And finally, you're going to like this. Oh, yes. It's Coin News. Yes, indeed. Coin News. It is where money talks. Cointastic. So there we go. It's a grab bag of magazines today on the show. We're going to start with the Star Trek magazine. We're going to move on to Medieval Warfare. And we're going to end with Judge Dredd and finally coins. So, essentially, a fair warning with the Star Trek magazine. It's pretty fucking Star Trek-y. Numismatist Weekly, says Gonzo Socialism. Right, so let's crack into Star Trek Explorer, the official magazine. Right, so first thing is they've got an advert for another Star Trek magazine. They know their audience. A magazine on Star Trek villains. How old is Dredd now? Very fucking old. Very fucking old. It's sort of like with The Simpsons where they kind of keep twisting the timeline to just sort of keep going. Just, jump back different years, stuff like that. Right. In the magazine, let's see. There is a Star Trek book about a cat from Star Trek Discovery. Do I like Star Trek? I do like Star Trek. Do I like it enough for this magazine? Probably not. They've got lots of news, basically. Most of it about lower decks and stuff like that. They have a feature. This is cool. They have a feature on Star Trek's first non-binary actor, or the first, declared non-binary actor, Blue Del Barrio, who turns up in Discovery's 3rd season and is returning for its 4th. Yes, Dredd has had his eyes replaced at least twice now. How many ears does Captain Kirk have a left, a right, and a final frontier. Yes, Gonzo shows I'm up with that one. It's the 45th Dredd anniversary this year. There's an event on at the Comic Museum in London. I'm up for that. 33, left ear, right ear, final frontier. Yes, Gonzo Socialism, Nike it. There's a feature on this character, Grey, who is also featured in Discovery. I find a lot of heavy Discovery stuff here. Big feature on that. Trek 101 explaining who Gene Roddenberry is. I suspect if you've got a Star Trek Explorer magazine, you probably know who Gene Roddenberry is. Mark Kenosis says Captain Kirk has 3 ears, left, right, and one on the end of his dick because he's a fucking freak. Yes. Hey, TRA, how are you doing? Yeah, welcome to the birthday stream where we just very nerdy things. In the Q, they've got this feature called the Q Continuum, which is asking various people from the history of Star Trek a question. And in this first one, who belongs in the Star Trek Hall of Fame? Lots of different people featured in here. I'm slightly I don't know when they will have asked Leonard Nimoy, because he's very much dead. Anyway, he said that he mentioned various producers and stuff. Gene Roddenberry was weirdly horny, says the Burnzoid. Fully, yes. Also, Armin Shimmerman. He's also dead, sadly. Anyway, there's a big background feature on a Discovery episode, which I haven't seen, so I'm skipping to avoid spoilers there. An interesting feature about writers who are a writer who is influenced by Star Trek. And a supplement about Kirk. What's he got to say about Kirk? Top 10 Kirk moments. In at 10, Risk Is Our Business, Star Trek Return of Tomorrow. At 9, Finding His Son David. At 8, Star Trek Mirror Mirror, when he played the bad version of himself. At 7, Khan! How is Khan only 7? At 6, Star Trek A Piece of the Action. At 5, I Am Kirok. At 4, Kirk in Good Spirits in Star Trek Day of the Dove. At 3, Lady Killer, Star Trek The City on the Edge of Forever, which is actually a fucking amazing episode. At 2, Star Trek 3, when he sacrificed the Enterprise in the search for Spock. The only trouble with that is, many future films, they just did the sacrifice the Enterprise thing, each time less interesting. C122H122 says, the only thing I know about Star Trek is James Doohan saved a fan who was depressed. Yes. Chronotherm, Armin Shimmerman Memorial Column, where they talk about females. The Burnside #1 better be holding the dog in the wig. Sadly, no. It is, what does God need with a starship? Few captains can claim to have saved the universe with a simple question, but Kirk's inquiry to the mysterious force beyond the Great Barrier, claiming to be God, stops a force of unimaginable power wreaking havoc on our universe. That's in Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, a very much not good film. Happy birthday from SK the Crusader. Thank you, SK. Hope you're well, and glad to see you. They've got a profile of Kirk here. Because this is the official Star Trek magazine, the shagger element of him is framed as he cherishes the ladies. Oh yeah, he cherishes them all over the place. Bear Pavlova, happy birthday to you. Picard was better, says the Burnzoid. Yeah, every odd-numbered Star Trek film is shit, says Slinkermeyer. Final Frontier fucking sucks. Love to cherish the ladies. There he is, cherishing the ladies. Chronotherm, top 10 Picard moments are just him bullying Wesley. And Wesley deserves it. There's new fiction. Now, there's 2 short stories in this magazine. Both of them feature Q. This one with Kirk meeting Q. It's pointless. Nothing really happens. Here's a massively nerdy quiz about James T. Kirk. I'm talking really nerdy. Like, what is James Kirk's Starfleet serial number? Which I have no idea, and that's because I've had sex. The Burnside, Wesley should be bullied. By Wesley, I mean Will Wheaton. C122H122, hate William Shatner, history's greatest monster, says C122H122. 69 should be his number. Let me see, what is his number? It is SC9370176CEC. Well, obviously. My favourite Star Trek is DS9, so, feel free to bully me for that. Every issue will delve into the data core to retrieve a little scene or overlooked image from a classic Star Trek series. This issue, it's the term of Star Trek 4: The Voyage Home. Literally, just a picture of the lads on the bridge there. Starfleet serial number. Are they electronics you can claim extended warranty on? Well, Kirk's warranty is going to be very fucking long. C122, H122 says, nerd! They've got a whole feature about, like, things that they think Star Trek came up with in terms of science. DS9 is the best out of the lot, says Fluff Weasel. Correct. Heathmore says DS9 is the connoisseur's choice. Burnsoy, DS9 is good. I'm partial to Enterprise because it's the first I watched as it came out. Yeah, DS9 was the first one I watched as it came out. I did watch quite a lot of The Next Generation with my dad pretty soon after it came out. But this is something I didn't know. In Season 4 of Discovery, David Cronenberg is a guest star. He stars as a Federation agent in the 32nd century, because why not? Slinkermeyer loves DS9 because she dresses like a Bajoran. Fair dues. David Cronenberg's Star Trek film would be immense, wouldn't it? There's various questions about Star Trek. They got the people write in. Starfleet versus an absolute essay about the difference between Starfleet and the Federation. SK the Crusader says DS9 is the best. So yeah, here's another story, and it's just they had Kirk meeting Q earlier. This is another story, but this time it's Picard encountering Q again. Q's amazing, but Q's well overused in the series, in my opinion. The definitive guide to the Enterprise. I think they're shooting their load pretty early in this magazine. The first issue, and they've got the definitive to which Enterprise as well. The definitive guide to the Enterprise. Oh, to Enterprise. Sorry, yeah. Oh, the show Enterprise. I thought they were talking about the ship, the Enterprise. Show Enterprise. It's fine. They use a lot of red in their layouts. Yeah. Chronotherm terrorist lesbian representation for the Bajorans. Hello and happy birthday, says Neon Lady. Thank you, Fluff Weasel. Q is a dick. Such a dick, says Fluff Weasel. I liked Q a lot when I was a kid, and less so now. They say that the 10 best episodes of Enterprise. Is there really that many? And Star Trek Enterprise, Broken Bow. Can you appreciate a story if you haven't seen the beginning? One Star Trek fan boldly goes where she's never before, the first episode of Star Trek Enterprise, and discovers a side to the Alpha Quadrant she'd never seen before. Alright, there we go. What is this? What are they debating? Oh, it's just people debating whether Enterprise is good. Magic Dan 13 says best thing about Q is him getting decked by Cisco and never appearing in DS9 again. Heathmore 2401 says Broken Bow is bad. Worst Trek series. Enterprise was so bad, says Fluff Weasel. Enterprise is not great. I think the first I think Discovery is very patchy, but it's decent enough. I really like Lower Decks. It's a weird show though. Anyway, they've got a Klingon word search. It is Klingon words. A Klingon dictionary. A Spock the difference of an old school Klingon when they were more racist, and promise in the next issue of the Borg, right? So the thing about this, Slinkermine says, know too many people who know Klingon. Magic Dan 13 says, Enterprise kind of okay, but gets eaten by 9/11 so bad with the Xindi arc. Yeah, so basically, the trouble with this is, because it's an official magazine, it sucks Star Trek's cock far too much. So it's sort of fine. And then it's sort of fine, but sort of like not. I don't think it passes Mark Canosis's train test. Really, it's too thin for that, and it's far too expensive. It is £6 for a pretty thin magazine. But you know, if you love Star Trek, it's great. It's good. So I don't know, 5 or 6 maybe. Chronotherm says this magazine is worse than White Dwarf, fight me. Heatable 2401 likes Discovery a lot, even though it's really patchy. Mark Kenosis gives it a 0 out of 10. Nerd shit. Parp says fuck that. The Burnzoid, the word search will take all day. C122H122 gives it a minus 37. I give it a plus. NCC 1701. Yes, nerd shit. Right, okay. Well, from nerd shit about things that haven't happened or haven't happened yet, we move on to nerd shit that happened a long time ago with sexy Vlad the Impaler as the cover star. Yes, it's Medieval Warfare Magazine. Medieval Warfare Magazine. So what's wrong kind of nerd shite for me, says the Burnzoid. Yeah, fair dues. So, Medieval Warfare Magazine. In this issue, Wallachia is caught in the crossfire between Hungary and the Ottoman Empire. The War of St. Sabas. Italian city-states fight for hegemony in the Holy Land with Acre as the battleground. Hereward's wet rebels after the Norman conquest of England. Small pockets of resistance remained. Battle games, how horsemen through Central Asia use sport as a form of military training, and Fighting Archbishop, a man of the cloth from Castile, Rodrigo Jimenez de Rada, had some very secular pursuits. Very secular pursuits. Medieval Warfare Mag is White Dwarf for people without imagination. Yeah. So, the theme of this episode, the Impaler goes to war. Better known as Dracula, used savage tactics to repel an invasion of Ottoman forces under Mehmed the Conqueror. So yeah, Vlad the Impaler, here we go. Woo, holy lands, says the Research Arena. This particular of medieval warfare owes a lot to Alice Isabella Sullivan, our assistant editor. As an expert in the medieval history of the Balkans, Alice was well versed in this issue's theme, Vlad III, better known as Dracula. She was also able to put together a great team of experts on this man and his era, which allows us to get a really strong set of articles about Vlad, including his famous night raid against an Ottoman army, as well as his ultimate downfall. We imagine a lot of readers will know about the fictional Dracula, but the real person, Vlad the Impaler, certainly has a very interesting story to tell. The issue also takes you to 11th century England, see the resistance against the Norman conquerors, and to fields through Asia where medieval horsemen played games that helped them prepare for war. Western Mole Ninja, the magazine, says the Burnzoid. Non-binary warrior. In 1968, a sword with a bronze handle was found in Hatula, Finland, during a digging project for a water pipe. The sword led to the discovery of a grave that was almost 1,000 years old, and the grave has since become rather well known for the objects it contained. The jewellery inside the grave indicates that the buried individual was dressed in typical female clothing of the period. On the other hand, the person was buried with a sword, possibly two, according to some interpretations, which is often associated with masculinity. Over the decades, the Suntaka grave has been considered to be either a double burial of both a woman and a man, or alternatively a weapon grave of a female, and therefore a proof of strong female leaders or even female warriors in early medieval Finland. However, a newly published study challenges both views. Study published in the European Journal of Archaeology confirmed that only one person had been buried in the grave, and that the person was wearing typical feminine clothes of the period and had a hiltless sword placed on their hip. Fill in this questionnaire to find out the perfect siege weapon for you. Says Fluffweasel. The buried individual seems to have been a highly respected member of their community. They've been laid in the grave on a soft feather blanket with valuable furs and objects, says Ulla Moylanen, a PhD student from the University of Turkey. Buried individual was studied using an ancient DNA analysis. The DNA was badly damaged, but the analysis suggested that the buried individual had the sex chromosomal aneuploidy XXY, i.e. Klinefelter syndrome. The clinical symptoms of Klinefelter syndrome vary from one person to another and are often mild enough that the syndrome might go unnoticed. Although a person with XXY chromosomes is usually anatomically a male, the syndrome may also cause breast growth, diminished muscle mass, or infertility. According to Moylanen, the individual buried in the Suntaka may be an example of an individual whose social identity settles outside the traditional division of genders. If the characteristics of the Klinefelter syndrome have been evident on the person, they might not have been considered strictly a female or a male in the early Middle Ages community. The abundant collection of objects buried in the grave is a proof that the person was not only accepted, but also valued and respected. However, biology does not directly dictate a person's self-identity. There you go. So that's interesting. The War of St. Sabas, 1256 to 1258. The Latin Kingdom of Jerusalem was at war. Siege engines battered the defences of its principal city. Fleets clashed at sea beyond its harbour, and even the Grand Master of Templars was forced to flee to safety. Yet this was not a crusade of war between Franks and Muslims, but a struggle between Christians for economic dominance of the Holy Land. So there you go. Very boring layout. King Rollo said, "Fuck TERFs, Hispanic future." Heathmore 2401 says, yeah, XXY can be part of the intersex spectrum. That's a really interesting study, I think. Anyway, Hereward and the Siege of Ely. In the aftermath of the Battle of Hastings, Duke William of Normandy was able to take the English throne. However, English chronicles document a number of resistance movements following the Norman conquest. One of these was led by Hereward, who waged a successful guerrilla campaign based out of the Fenlands. What if Vietnam, but Norman conquest era and in the Fens? Very long, like, honestly, they could have tried a bit harder with these layouts. It's just like walls of text. It does seem interesting, though. England's defence structure rested heavily in the 14th century on its large male population. These levied troops came from almost every walk of life. Aged 16 to 60, they covered almost all ages of men and all levels of wealth, from the poorest commoner to the loftiest noble. Their role and equipment were decided by the king and his council over generations, which became tradition. It's kind of interesting. The reign of Vlad II, Dracul. Part of present-day Romania, Wallachia lies between the Danube River and the Carpathian Mountains. During the Middle Ages, this land would be contested ground both between its ruling elite and the larger states that surrounded it. Here's a 15th century statue of St. George the Dragon Slayer from Romania. He is venerated there as protector of nature in the Romanian army. St. George was also the Order of the Dragon's patron saint, of which Vlad II was a member. Order of the Dragon is a badass thing. Mark Canosia says, I like walls of text because I'm an adult. I enjoy walls of text, for instance, in book. You've been very punchy recently, Mark. I do too, but when you're designing a magazine, it's quite good to, you know, try different approaches to how you lay out the page. Anyway, this is really interesting. It's fucking full of excellent maps. The Roman Principalities in Eastern Hungary between 1457 and 1504. Map-tastic there. Hungarian military leader John Hunyadi is depicted in a 1488 edition. Like, badass. C122, H122 struggles with walls of text. The Burnside says different things are different, yeah. A timeline of the Impaler. Who doesn't fucking love a timeline? It's probably classic Dorley and Kindersley shit. Mark Nosis says they've got different approaches for every article in this mag. Lol. Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. I'm just like, my point with this feature is, right, this is really fucking interesting. This is a really cool image, right? And then you've got 3 pages where all they've done is just put a border around it. The timeline looks amazing. Mark, even very fucking chippy. Right. Yeah, the timeline's awesome. The timeline is awesome. Dracula against Mehmed the Conqueror. In 1462, the Ottomans launched the largest invasion Wallachia had experienced in decades. Vlad the Impaler's aggressive response would earn him a reputation for ferocity and guile. There's his, like, funeral stones. If the readers of medieval warfare like modern things like Swiss layouts, then they wouldn't read medieval warfare, says Struggle Ruffian. Yeah, inject the timeline directly into my veins. SK the Crusader, the fact he's fighting a guy called the Conqueror implies how it's likely to go. Yeah, it does a little bit, doesn't it? A 15th century medal depicting Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II. His ambitions to claim territory in Eastern Europe put him into frequent conflict with local rulers, including Vlad III. A lot of Vlads going on here. Panic Future says, Mark's just keeping it lively. Keep it lively, Mark. Yeah, basically that was a war coin. Dating from the 15th century, this turban helmet comes from an arsenal in Istanbul, Turkey. These helmets mostly included a male aventail, which covered the sides of the head or even the face and offered extra protection to the wearer. It's a pretty fucking cool helmet, to be honest. Mark Knossis, this magazine should be hand-inscribed on vellum and should cost 3 years of a peasant's wage. Burnsoy says, it's like an early wrestling match. The Impaler versus the Conqueror. Another fucking good map. I tell you something, Medieval Warfare Magazine, if you like maps, they've got it, mate. A hand and a half Hungarian curved sword with an overall length of 103 centimeters. Basically, the detail in this is fantastic. And here we go, ready for the centerfold. They call it the centerfold. Here is the Vlad Centerfold. Look at that. Fuck yeah. Vlad attacked the camp as quickly as he could, and he first encountered the army from Asia. They fought briefly there, but they were routed and pushed away in groups in order to advance themselves. Vlad had lit torches and fires, and his army advanced in the most orderly and compact way against the enemy. Fucking look at that. Absolutely, as Slinkmeyer says, metal as fuck. That fucking bangs. Look at it. It's like, they've lured you in. They've lured you in, and there it is. Anyway, genuinely, this easily passes Mark's excellent, we'll just do a train journey test. Let's do a couple of train journeys. Vlad's sequel, the 1476 campaign in Serbia and Bosnia. Strength of the Ottoman Empire would leave Hungary adopting a defensive position. King Matthias Corvinus hoped to secure his southern border through fortifications, inflicting damages into enemy territory and the use of excessive propaganda in the West, trying to motivate other European powers to financially support the recruitment of mercenaries. Vlad the Impaler, notorious for his cruelty but also for his astonishing military successes, was predestined to lead the charge. Another badass picture there. Medieval Warfare Centerfold or a Saxon album cover. Didn't realise I was on the album cover, says SK the Crusader. Guy in front wearing a white sweatshirt and jeans. It's got that vibe, hasn't it? Hang on, let's go back and check. Little bit, yeah. Yeah, you could put SK's face in there. Eris says probably more likely to read this than the Star Trek one. Yeah, me too, even though I like Star Trek. The Star Trek one's too sort of suck-uppy. Anyway, this is cool, and I like the way that they've done this like it is, you know, a report from the time, from obviously the text. And all the people writing these, like, fully, you know, this article's by Albert Weber, a research fellow at the Leibniz Institute for East and Southern and Southeast European Studies in Regensburg, specialising in medieval Romanian history. The post-medieval Dracula, from literature to film. The afterlives of Vlad III, the Impaler, are perhaps even more interesting in his life. They've transformed the historical figure from a leader and warrior during his reigns into a ruthless and twisted killer during the 16th and 17th centuries, which contributed to his distorted fashioning in local folklore. During the 19th century, Vlad was yet again reimagined, this time as a literary figure, which gave way to his iconic representations in films and other visual media during the 20th and 21st centuries. Vlad III, Dracula, has enjoyed great fame in the historical record and in popular imagination. It's picturing him from a 1485 German pamphlet, looking pretty fucking badass. Marknosis says post-medieval, fuck out of here with that shit. Yeah, we don't. This is Medieval Warfare Magazine. We don't want to be seeing pictures of the Count from Sesame Street in there. Mons Meg and her sisters. We're saddened to hear of the recent death of the great arms and armour scholar Claude Gaia. Before we ever met him in person, we knew him through his groundbreaking research on the origins of Mons Meg at the time when we were investigating how medieval wrought iron cannon was manufactured. 15th century wrought iron cannons for you there. Equestrian games, mock battles and skilled manoeuvres. Games have been part of all societies throughout time. In the medieval Middle East, equestrian games, although violent, were popular and served multiple purposes. The Ayyubid and the Mamluk Sultanate rulers of Egypt and their auxiliary army allies, the Turkoman, all took advantage of the equestrian games to train their mounted troops to maintain military preparedness against their enemies. This article examines 4 popular equestrian games played by these groups. Dredd is still played today in Turkey, as these riders in traditional costumes demonstrate. Even though the sticks being thrown are blunted, it remains a dangerous sport, with even modern competitors being periodically killed. Google pics of Mons Meg. They're a heckin' chonker, says Chronotherm. Mark Canosa says, we don't know how old the Count from Sesame Street is. Yeah, is he younger or older than John Rentoul? Right, anyway. That's interesting. Then they review some books, not so interesting. Rodrigo Jimenez Dorada, a arch-episcopal war fighting in the 13th century Iberia. He's like a warrior bishop, which is pretty fucking badass. Diet Coke, says C122H122. Periodically killed makes it sound like they're executed at set intervals, says Mark Kenosis. The Count from Sesame Street is the same age as John Rentoul. The Burnside, I'm sure my mum has a picture of me sitting on top of Mons Meg when we went to Edinburgh Castle. Nice. Yeah. Anyway, that's cool. Warrior Bishop. Part psychology, part appearance. In recent decades, castle scholars, who wouldn't want to be one of those, have reappraised castle functions, sometimes called revisionist. This move attempted to place castles within their broader medieval cultural context and away from a discourse dominated by militaristic interpretations. Even more recently, several castleologists have pointed out we do not need to pick only one dominant function for a castle or one use for an architectural feature. Our tendency towards this reappraisal to create a dichotomy of defence versus symbol led to prioritisation of one over the other, which hid the true uses of castles in their medieval societies. This article highlights some ways to think about the multifaceted purposes of what initially appear to be defensive features. Okay? This is good nerd shit. I love it. And at the back, they've got a bibliography for books about Vlad the Impaler. Justin Welby versus Rowan Williams. To the death. Bring forth the guillotine, says Gonzo Socialism. Do you know what? This is a good magazine. This is a good magazine. Like, there's a load of cool features in it. You know, you've got the absolutely metal as fuck centerfold with Vlad the Impaler. This is £7, right? So it is a lot. But there's a fuck ton to read in it. Minus 1066 says C122H122. I enjoy. Do you know? I will actually go back and properly read this. 8 out of 10 from Mark Kenosis for Medieval Warfare Magazine. Yeah, that was fucking great. Now we move on to the Judge Dredd Megazine. Mark Kenosis says, if Medieval Warfare Magazine was under a £5, it'd get the full 10 out of 10. Yeah, I mean, I think hopefully they pay their contributors a decent amount. 8 out of 10 from Slinker Meyer for Medieval Warfare Magazine. 1492 out of 1500 from the Burnzoid. Right, Mark's off out for lunch. Have a lovely lunch. Thanks for tuning in, man, and I'll see you next week, hopefully. I will try to enjoy my birthday. It's going to be a quiet one. Person in the room is person in the London. Chronotherm says the cover of Medieval Warfare is disappointing. 9 out of 10. Gonzo Socialism gives it 6 trebuchets. Am I getting cake? I'm getting cake tomorrow, but I'm getting like pizza and stuff from my parents tonight, so that's cool. The Aorist, a strong 6 out of 10 for Medieval Magazine. Medieval Warfare Magazine from the Aorist. Neon Lady gives it 8 out of 10, love the timeline and the centerfold. Panic Future says 9 out of 10, precisely my shit. Yeah, I was thinking it was going to be more mockable before I broke the cover, and actually it's pretty fucking good. Right. Now we're doing Dredd because when I was a kid, I read 2000 AD and Judge Dredd Magazine pretty religiously, and I still pretty much like it. This, I have to say, as Dredd covers go, is kind of like pretty standard. It's just Dredd with the big gun, looking pretty fucking desiccated. Dredd takes up arms against lawlessness. When does he not do that? Of course, they've immediately got ads for their own stuff. You can get 6 ultra rare artifacts from 2000 AD history absolutely free if you subscribe in its 45th anniversary year. Yes. What's going on with Dredd? Praise Zort is this Mega City 1. Unemployment is endemic and crime is rampant, stemming the tide of chaos for the judges. Future law enforcers empowered to dispense instant justice. Toughest of them all, Judge Dredd. This is very sort of classic looking Dredd strip. What's going on I mean, they don't have a catch up on this, and because it's the first one. You join us of coverage of today's inquiry, where Mega City 1's Chief Judge Logan is being questioned by the Assembly of Nations about his administration's recent chronotech scandal. They were using advanced chronotechnology to spy on other nations and steal their intellectual property. Who doesn't love a court battle in a Judge Dredd comic? It's, you know... It's a political intrigue episode, this one. Viz comic for cosplayers, says Gonzo Socialism. I want an issue of Dredd where he finds himself, says C122, H122. Anyway, the art in this is, like, decent enough. And, of course, Dredd is involved. Finally gets involved there. I always love more, like, that kind of style where it's really battered up. Yeah, this issue comes with the first issue of a new Garth Ennis graphic novel called Hawk the Slayer, which is like a more medieval shit. Very sort of 70s style thing. Burnside says Dredd, the only man with a bigger chin than Ron Perlman. Also in here, Death Cap, which is pretty grim looking, like set out in the cursed earth. I really like this one. I really like the art style in this one. It's really like wow. It's Mayor Grubb. Diamond Dogs is excellent. Hawk the Slayer feels like a rip-off of Berserk and the Band of the Hawk, says Jujo. Diamond Dogs, yeah, I like Diamond Dogs. It's pretty cool. This is just me slowly reading. Alright, so they got a feature, Slay Time. For any youngster with an overactive imagination and a craving for gaudily lit, seriously played out there science fiction and fantasy to fill the void left by Star Wars, the 1980 film Hawk the Slayer was a feast after famine. For adults, including many famed current comic creators, its magic has only grown over the years. Okay, so this is them doing like a remake of that. This is Garth Ennis doing his version of Hawk the Slayer. Right. Okay, cool. Well, that explains that. Steve White described himself as one half of the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern of comics, a reference to the Shakespearean double act who turn up in the background during Hamlet. It's a feature about his work in comics. Lawless, I'm not quite a sucker for a black and white comic. The Heiress says, Hawk the Slayer was rubbish. Like this, a black and white comic, just the detail in it is fantastic. And that is a brilliant page. Gladstone says, dude, you have to watch Hawk the Slayer. We had it on VHS when I was a kid. Burnzo says, always preferred Nemesis the Warlock. Gladstone says, Hawk the Slayer's cheesy as hell, but fun. And then Surfer 2 is another John Wagner series about, you know, the surfers of the Mega City Judge Dredd like world. The panels in that is phenomenal. Like, that is a phenomenal way to set out the panels. Basically, the magazine has not changed much since when I was a kid. It's a good combination of stories from around the Judge Dredd type universe. The art is fucking great. Black and white one color is always very good for. It's very good for comics. Is what is the point? Yeah, I mean, Lawless I just love the detail in there. It's phenomenal. Anyway, it's really cool. I love it, but it hasn't changed in like 25 years. It remains pretty much what you would expect it to be. And it's been a bit of a run of magazines like that in today's episode. Put on the birthday crown, says my wife in the chat. The crown or the... Why would it change to C122, H120? No, it shouldn't. I'm not expecting... It doesn't have to change. It's just... I'm just saying, like, if you like it, you like it. I'll get you a wife guy, says SK. I'm fully a wife guy. Anyway, there's the birthday crown. And it actually goes with my shirt. Right. It's the birthday laurel wreath. There we go. Right. Minus 15 years in the ISO cubes for the magazine from the Burnzoid. The Heiress says, yeah, probably 7 out of 10 for me, but I haven't read the last story or Hawk the Slayer. Yeah, I also, that's a bar. That's great that it comes with a an additional comic to read. Person on the Train is in the chat. Yeah, right. So now we come to what great timing. We come to the final. I'm not wearing this the whole time. It's very annoying. Now we come to the final mag of today's show. The one I got for you, because I knew you would enjoy it. Certainly, Person on the Train's going to love this. It's Coin News. Coin News. Era says, usually a reprint, not a new thing. Yeah, I know, but it's good. It's good, isn't it? Look away, Person on the Train. Coin News. Yes, Coin News, where money talks. Let's see what's on the front page of Coin News. The UK's best-selling coin magazine. A lot of competition there. Banknotes, tokens, new issues, notes. Banknotes. What a fucking coin is it? A platinum year ahead. Also in this issue, Kings of Cappadocia, a complex history explored in coinage. Year of the Tiger, coins roar in the Chinese New Year. And what's it worth? This month, we value Maundy sets. Yeah, fuck note. We're not interested in notes. We are purely about coins. Right, here is the editor of Coin News magazine. Bring out the bunting, he says. 70 years ago, when for the first time since the death of Queen Victoria, the peoples of the UK and Commonwealth sang out the national anthem in honour of our new gracious Queen. Little did they know how prophetic the line, long to reign over us, would be. Just checking. Queen, not dead. Currently, officially, not dead. Right, so, first ad for coins. It's an Augustus inscribed Shield Gold Aureus, sold at auction for £20,000. Kate Devlin's lost the feed, damn train bullshit. You're only missing the coin magazine. She can't hear me, so. Colin Cook, the auctioneers with coins. Another ad for coins. The Coin Cabinet, world coin dealer and auctioneer. Auctions every month. Sovereign rarities, more coin ads. I mean, this is coin ads. Sure, if you believe fact, sure, the Queen is alive. The heiress says, yeah, I meant that having something new was unusual. I haven't been reading for long enough that the reprints weren't usually new to me too, right. I can't see the coins, I'm going through a tunnel. Numismata, a discourse of medals, ancient and modern, together with an account of heads and effigies of illustrious and famous persons, sculpts and taladoos of whom we have no medals extant, and of the oath to be deprived from them. What the fuck is this? Alright. In 1697, John Evelyn, who is best known to the world at large for his diary, published his book, Numismata, A Discourse of Medals. The tome contains illustrations of 97 medals, including several coins. Christopher Eamer describes Numismata as being the first listing of the British series of medals in catalogue form. 295 years later, in 1992, I acquired a copy of Evelyn's book. Finding it to be so interesting, I decided to start collecting one example of each of the 97 illustrated items. To date, I have acquired 70 of them, with 20 27 remaining. Those 27 are illustrated below and on the following 3 pages of my wish list. If you have any of them available for sale or know anyone who might, please contact me. I would definitely like to acquire one example of each of the remaining medals and coins. Thank you very much, Dale Alberston from the other side of the pond. This guy in Beverly Hills has put an ad in Coin News to seek the coins he's hunting for. So there, 2 pages just of pictures of coins this American guy wants to get his hands on. That is coin commitment, my friends. At the St. James auction, the Royal Berkshire Sovereign Collection is up for sale. Elvis coin! The king of rock and roll, a free coin. The official Elvis Presley coin. Just 500,000 struck worldwide. Just 500,000. Man seeks coin, says SK the Crusader. Desperately seeking coin. In the news, they found a hoard of coins on Jersey. There's a Stonehenge coin. There's a Mr. Stink coin based on the David Walliams book. Fuck that. There's sad coin news as the auction house, the founder of the Stax Bowers auction house, Harvey G. Stack, has died. He was old and he collected coins. Dr. Werner Berger, 1936 to 2021, the world-respected numismatist, has died. He obtained the first and only PhD in Chinese numismatics. He set out to further study of the Qing currency. He also had to acquire Qing dynasty coins, rummaging around antique shops on his frequent trips to China and acquiring 70. He also 70 100-kilogram bags of coins from generous Hong Kong scrap metal dealer. This sounds... I'm suspicious of this numismatist. What is the price for this one coin? David Walliams is 50 pence coin. David Walliams, answer a question someone asked. What if Roald Dahl books were not fun and more spiteful? Yeah. World and ancient coins. More coins being sold, including George II coins, Henry III coins, and Charles II coins. Irish historical coins up for auction at D&W in Mayfair. Right, they're talking to heritage auctions expert Sarah Miller about her favourite coins. Her favourite coins are the Central American Republic issues of 1827 to 1851. The designs are very beautiful. What is your top tip for collectors? My best advice is collect what you really enjoy rather than buying what's popular. Look for what you're most passionate about. Warcoin! Knightsbridge auctions. Lots of old coins. Continuing his special monthly reports, Robert Parkinson, senior numismatist at Sovereign Rarities, looks at what's shaping today's numismatist market. Apparently, the Gothic crown, produced in 1847 under Queen Victoria, is very much in demand. Goth coin. Dr. Kerry Rogers uncovers the Henry VII groat. On November 10th, 2021, archaeologists working at the site of the oldest continually settled British colony in Canada announced the discovery of a Henry VII silver groat minted at Canterbury sometime between 1493 and 1499. It weighs about 1.5 grams. There we go. The Burnsoy says, my favourite coins are the ones I have. The Neon Lady is here for the Goth coin. The Henry VII groat, not to be confused with a Tory scrote, says Jujo. Latest issues. Australia has done a desert scorpion coin, which sounds fucking badass. In Canada, a purely brilliant Forevermark black naval oval diamond coin in $200 denomination. In Croatia, a Dalmatian dog coin made of silver. In Gibraltar, the World of David Walliams Mr. Stink coin. Fucking be ashamed of yourself, Gibraltar. In Latvia, the Miracle coin. €5 coin. It's the miracle coin. And in Mongolia, the Fabergé Eggs Rosebud Egg coin. It's a 1,000 Togorog coin. That's pretty fucking badass, to be honest. Do I have to keep this mag hidden from person in the room, says Frugulus? Yes. Hasn't Australia got enough indigenous animals that will kill you to put on a coin? Yeah, that's right, the heiress. I hide it under the pawn to save embarrassment. Just what it is, right? It's a lot of coins. Unfortunately, there's a note here. Highest price of sale was achieved by this government of India 1,000 rupees note, which went for £17,000. An Oliver Cromwell shilling from 1658 was sold for £2,852, and a Victoria gold £5 coin from 1893 with a couple of small edge knocks was achieved a sale price of £2,728. There was a coin that they made for the Queen's 95th, but Queen Elizabeth II's 95th birthday. It is a 1 kilogram gold proof, which had a face value of £1,000. It was sold for £51,000. Look at that. Are the ads in the back of this magazine for the Daily Mail? Yeah, probably. A New England shilling struck in Boston in 1652, recently discovered in the UK in a tin along with coins and medals, was sold for £264,000. Chris Rudd in Norwich holds all 6 all-Celtic auctions a year. Nobody else in the world does it, says this ad. Only Chris Rudd of Norwich gets so many world record prices for ancient British coins. All metals, all types, all grades, year after year. And only Chris Rudd of Norwich gives you the famous Chris Rudd guarantee of authenticity on every Celtic coin. For life! That's why Celtic coins sell so well in Norwich. For a free valuation of a single coin, call Chris Rudd of Norwich. That's a genuine ad. So many ads in this. The Kings of Cappadocia, here's various coins. A silver drachm of Arianthes the First. Looks like that. Like, just coins, mate. Really. They're pretty cool coins. But, you know. There's a lot to read in here. A lot of quite in-depth stuff about coins. British Museum's database. The 1 millionth archaeological find recorded on their database is coins. The Milton Keynes Krugerrands. And the tins in which they were buried. There we go, Krugerrands. Burnzoid, find, yeah. Mary Queens of Scots and her husband, Mary and Francis Gold Ducat, issued from the Edinburgh Mint in 1558. Francis and Mary for Testoon of 1560. So, Mary Queen of Scots coins. Basically, they're worth a lot because she got fucked up. William and Mary Maundy money. I hope readers have enjoyed this short series on William and Mary Maundy money and discovered a new interest and understanding of the coinage. Part 4 last month concluded the 4 pences of the series. This month I briefly revisit the penny and 2 pence denominations, offer a few words of advice for beginners. Incredible. Which husband she had hunters? Yeah, in this case Francis. Like a very in-depth thing about these different coins. The Maundy coins. Year of the Water Tiger. Dr. Kerry Rogers indulges in this annual numismatic lunacy. Various Chinese tiger coins. The advice from this magazine: buy coins, says Chujo. Yeah, pretty much. Mahatma Gandhi medals. This 36mm silvered brass medal issued in 1944 is not a coin. Pages on medals. We don't want medals. Only coins. Even if it's round and made of metal and it's not a coin, we're not interested. Back to basics. No, don't care about that. Banknote news. Again, keep your filthy banknote news to yourself. They've got a guide to hyperinflation for dummies. Send that over to Rishi Sunak. Including a Greek 100 trillion drachmae of 3rd of November 1944, issued shortly after wartime hyperinflation, and a Bank de Zaire 500,000 Zaires dated 1st of October 1992. Hyperinflation notes look amazing. But what are medals if not coins you can't spend, says the Burnzoid. War coins. Part of China's post-war hyperinflation, a 1 million yuan note from 1948. A German Weimar Republic treasury note for 1 million mark, overprinted of 1,000 mark, dated 15th of December 1922. The overprint was issued in 1923 as Germany's post-war inflation was about to peak. Ignore what it says on the original note, we've printed over that. Recycling banknotes. Most of these articles are written by the same person, Dr. Kerry Rogers. The Letter from America, the Indian Cent, 1859 to 1908. Just a thing about that. Next month, change checking. There's a quiz about coins. Buying or selling. During these troubled times, I am still operating, so perhaps I can be of help to you, either buying or selling. I am still a keen buyer. Good funds available. Immediate settlement. So why can I pay you more than most? Simples, it actually says that, as I have very minimal overheads and running costs. For sale, some nice quality warranty. This is Royston A. Norbury, West Essex Coin Investments. Simples. The ads in this are incredible. I'm quite happy to look at all coins and collections, whatever the standard. Royston A. Norbury. In the reviews, they review various books about... Can you guess what they're about? Well, they're about coins, including an illustrated history of the House of Hanover, in coins, and paper money of the estates of Sumatra. They're not coins, are they? That's paper money. British Numismatist Trade Association. Look out for the BNTA logo and buy with confidence. The back of the thing is just lots of ads, as you'd expect. Morton and Eden, auctioneers of coins, medals and paper money. The Wolf Metternich collection. There you go. Coins. Chronotherm, we're live with episode 0 of Mick Becomes a Whale for Antique Coin Hustlers. And on the back page, consign your coins to a Royal Mint auction. If you're looking to sell your coin or coin collection, the Royal Mint Collector Services team can help you find a new home for them. Right, that was coin news. It delivered what we wanted. Mostly coins. It's gonna lose some points because of the unnecessary note-based stuff, right? Jujo01, who gets rid of coins? Well, yes. Right, that was coin news. Thank you to the Heiress for cheering with 100 bits, and thank you also to Chronotherm for subscribing again with Prime. Much appreciated. Chronotherm gives coin news 0 out of 10 for no Diana coin, the People's Princess of Coins. Slinkermeyer in with 6.9 out of 10 for coins. Neon Lady 4 out of 10 coins. Not enough coins. Coins. And let me just say, coins. Right, that was coin news. So I think that the winner of today's show is what, with an incredibly strong score, was Medieval Warfare Magazine, coming in at number 2. The Judge Dredd Megazine, in at 3, Coin News, and dead last, it's Star Trek Explorer. The Burnzoid rates Coin News minus $1 million Zimbabwean dollars. Aratrax says coins. C122H122 found it was a 5 out of 10. Too many notes and medals. Thank you for joining me on this birthday stream for the magazine special. I really appreciate it. Thank you to thank you to everyone who's sent happy birthdays and other stuff, including chucking into the paper fund. That's much appreciated. Red Geds, he's live. Yeah. Oh, do you know what? Yeah, I can do the thing, don't I? I don't have to. Yeah, I think about that. Raid. His username's GedStation, right? Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a really good weekend, and thank you for watching this week. And I'm going to come and watch Geds too, and drink the rest of my Diet Coke. Have a great one. SK, I guess you've got a stream later. Hope I'll try and tune into that as well. See you, Jojo. Thanks very much. Thank you for redeeming Hydrate C122H122. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. You know, it helps. Bye-bye for now.